Hey there. Today we're diving into something that's, well, a bit of a head-scratcher. We're talking about why a vegetable we all know and use constantly, the humble onion, is sometimes banned from sacred rituals.
I mean, it's a fair question, right? Onions aren't basically everything. They're a staple all around the world. So why, in these really important, sacred moments, are they deliberately left out? Well, the answer probably isn't what you're thinking.
Yeah, this has absolutely nothing to do with nutrition or whether onions are good or bad for your physical health. The reason isn't about the body at all. It's all about the mind.
To really get to the bottom of this, we need to understand how certain spiritual traditions actually classify food. And that brings us to a really key concept, a word you might not have heard before, tamasic.
So what in the world does tamasic mean? Well, in traditions like Hinduism and even Ayurveda, the idea is that food isn't just fuel for your body. It's believed to directly influence your mental and energetic state. And tamasic foods, they're the ones that are thought to have this heavy, grounding, maybe even dulling effect on your consciousness.
So these foods are believed to do things like increase lethargy or stimulate a lot of desire. Basically things that disturb the mental calm that's so crucial for a ritual. The goal is to find this inner stillness, and tamasic foods are seen as a direct obstacle to getting there. So you can see there's a real conflict here, a clash between the goals of the ritual and the perceived effects of the food. It's a perfect example of prioritizing what's happening in the mind over what's on the plate.
Let's break it down side by side. The whole point of a ritual is to achieve things like mental focus, inner stillness, and self-control. But onions, being considered tamasic, are believed to do the exact opposite. They stimulate the senses, increase passionate energy, and create a sense of restlessness. They're literally pulling the mind in the opposite direction.
And it goes even deeper than just the immediate effect on the mind. There's a whole other layer of symbolism here. The actual act of avoiding such a common, potent food, well, that carries its own meaning.
Think about it for a second. An onion has a really strong, pungent flavor and smell. You can't ignore it, right? It makes its presence known. And in this context, that powerful sensory experience is seen as a symbol for the strong pulls of the material world. The very attachments that spiritual practices often aim to help us move beyond.
So choosing not to eat an onion before a ritual becomes this really powerful act. It's a symbol of detachment from those worldly senses, it's a commitment to simplicity, and it's a direct exercise in restraint and self-control, all to prepare yourself for a sacred experience.
And this leads us to what is probably the most important distinction of all. We have to draw a very clear line between food for a ritual and food for your daily life. Because here, context is absolutely everything.
This restriction is super specific. For a ritual, the onion is avoided because it's believed to interfere with that spiritual goal of finding calm and focus. But in daily life, it's just a nutritious, flavorful food used in cuisines all over the world. Two totally different contexts.
So let me be really clear about this. This is not a health warning. It's not a judgment on onions themselves saying they're bad, not at all. It's about viewing food as a very specific tool that's used to prepare the mind and spirit for a sacred practice.
And honestly, this one sentence just sums up the whole idea perfectly. Onion is forbidden in rituals not because it is unhealthy, but because rituals aim for mental and spiritual purity.
All of this really opens up a much broader, fascinating question, doesn't it? It's a great reminder that for many cultures, food is so much more than just sustenance. It's a tool that can shape our inner world. So it makes you wonder, what other traditions out there make a clear separation between food for the body and food for the spirit?